This is Session 7, Conducting Your Workshop. In today's session, we'll go over how to conduct your workshop. We'll discuss how to prepare for the workshop and how to open, run, and close your workshop. We will go over a workshop plan of action that will guide you through facilitating your workshop. We will also discuss how to handle the unexpected during your workshop. We will provide practical tips and helpful hints. Lastly, we will cover the do's and don'ts for Community Health Advisors, or CHAs. Here you will find a general timeline to help guide your activities over the next few months. Once you complete your CHA training and certify as a Project Heal CHA, the next step is to schedule your workshop with the help of your pastor or church official. The preparing for your workshop part of this session shows different steps that you need to take in order to schedule your workshop, advertise your workshop, and recruit participants. Workshop 1 should be held about 1 month after you certify as a Community Health Advisor. As the kickoff workshop, Project Heal staff will be present to assist with the enrollment and will provide refreshment for you and all participants. In this workshop, you will take care of administrative details such as enrollment forms and the HEAL survey that each eligible participant will complete. For this project, all participants must be enrolled by Workshop 1. You will also go over a general overview of Project Heal, an overview of cancer, and talk about spirituality and health. Much of the information you will need to help prepare for Workshop 1 can be found in Chapters 1 and 7 of your CHA manual. Also, after you certify as a Project Heal CHA, you will receive the PowerPoint slides for each of your 3 workshops. In month 3, you should hold Workshop 2 of the Project Heal workshop series. In this workshop, the female CHA will lead women participants in a session on breast cancer. The male CHA will lead the men participants in a session on prostate cancer. Information in Chapters 3 and 4 in your CHA manual can help you prepare for this workshop. Also for this workshop, it would be best to have 2 separate rooms for each CHA with clear directions and signs to guide your participants. In month 4, you should hold the 3rd and last of the Project Heal workshop series. In this workshop, all female and male participants come together for a session on colorectal cancer, health beliefs, and local health resources that are available. Information in Chapters 5 and Chapter 6 in your CHA manual can help you prepare for this workshop. The Cancer Resource Guide will help you lead the discussion on local health resources. Question: what if new participants want to join the workshop but did not enroll at Workshop 1? Answer: kindly let them know that for the purposes of this project, participants must enroll by the first session to be eligible for HEAL incentives. However, if they would like to attend the remaining workshops, they are more than welcome to sit in. After you complete your Project Heal workshop series, continue to promote healthy living within your congregation. 1 year after your first workshop, you will conduct a follow-up workshop with your participants. After 1 year and 2 years of completing your Project Heal workshop series, you will receive follow-up surveys from the Project Heal staff to help get a sense of how Project Heal and healthy living is working for you and your church. As you are preparing to lead the workshop, there are several logistical steps that need to be done. The first step is to review the project goals and objectives. The next step is to review the eligibility requirements for participants using the Participant Eligibility Screener. For Project Heal, participants need to be above 18 years of age and cannot have a history of breast, prostate, or colorectal cancer. You should also confirm the target number of participants you are recruiting for your workshop. For Project Heal, aim to recruit 40 participants who are a mix of men and women. Next, set up a meeting with the pastor and/or appropriate church officials to schedule your workshops. Decide on a meeting time, date, and location. and have this information added to the church calendar. When deciding on a location, make sure the room is comfortable, has enough space, tables, and chairs to seat at least 30 participants, plus yourself and other project team members. Also make sure there is enough lighting, electrical outlets, technology support for your presentation, and that it's in a quiet area of the church. Lastly, you want to make sure the selected time is convenient for potential participants. For example, scheduling around other church ministry meetings or around the same time as another church event might attract more participants. Once you have details on your workshop, start recruiting participants. Post participant recruitment flyers throughout your church and remind pastors and other church ministry leaders to promote Project Heal workshops. Have interested participants sign up for the workshop using the sign-up sheet. Using the participant eligibility screener once more, screen interested participants to make sure they meet eligibility requirements. Question: what if someone is really interested in participating but does not meet the eligibility requirements? Answer: this is likely to happen. Kindly let them know that for the purposes of this project, participants must meet eligibility criteria to be enrolled and receive incentives. However, if they would like to attend your workshop to learn more about cancer and cancer prevention, they are more than welcome to sit in. About 1 week before, send a reminder letter or email to each participant with details of the upcoming workshop. They should be well aware of the date, time, and location in advance. 1 day before the workshop, call each participant using the reminder call script. Preparing your presentation is very important. Conduct a self-assessment by recording yourself leading a practice workshop. Evaluate yourself. Ask yourself, am I speaking too quickly? What tone am I using? Do I often say between thoughts? Would I want to listen to this person? Ask a friend or colleague to evaluate your presentation. Have an outside friend watch your presentation and provide honest feedback. When you practice, use visual aids or multimedia. Before your presentation, be certain you're comfortable with the equipment or technology that you will be using during your presentation. Make sure the room has been properly reserved through church officials. Double-check the room number, time, and if applicable, equipment reserved. Also check on the church's policy on the use of signage. The next step to preparing for your workshop is to identify resource people to assist you. These are people that you know can help you before, during, and after the workshop. Make sure to identify any setup materials and equipment needed. You should also identify where you can get the materials and equipment and what you need to do to get them before the workshop. Plan for any work that needs to be done before the meeting. Do you need to reserve equipment? Pick up coffee? Post signs throughout the church to direct your participants to the correct room? On the day of your workshop, make sure to arrive 1 hour early to give yourself plenty of time to set up. During this time, prepare the room by arranging chairs, tables, podiums, and other equipment. Set up all the materials you need for the workshop you are leading that day. Materials can include things like computers, PowerPoint slides, sign-in sheets, and other paperwork. Post signs throughout the church to direct your participants to the correct room. Also use this time to finish other work you have identified will help you deliver a successful workshop. Lastly, relax and prepare to welcome your participants when they arrive. Don't forget to be comfortable, be yourself, and have fun throughout the course of the workshop. To conduct a workshop, you must know how to open, run, and close the workshop. You must also know how to debrief after the workshop and answer any questions. Use the workshop plan of action to guide you in opening the workshop. The workshop plan of action provides a sample script in Chapter 7 of your CHA manual with suggestions on how to open, run, and close the workshop. You should begin by welcoming the participants and introducing any guests. Open with a prayer or inspirational reading, and then share general housekeeping guidelines. You should then explain your role as a CHA and facilitator. Give information, answer questions, and encourage participation. You should serve as a gatekeeper and set the right tone. Take time now to establish operating norms and rules. This includes having all participants turn their cell phones off and establishing rules for having polite conversation. Instruct participants to only speak one at a time and respect each other's opinions and experiences as you initiate the discussion. Go to the first item on your outline and begin going through the material. After the housekeeping guidelines have been completed, you can go over the agenda. A sample script can be, "Now that we've been welcomed, let's move on and review the activities we have to cover today." Follow this by reading the agenda aloud. The agenda may include the purpose of the workshop, consent forms, baseline surveys, the CHA presentation, questions and answers, and a closing. Review each one beginning with the purpose of the workshop. University of Maryland staff will assist you with the consent forms and baseline surveys. After the consent forms are signed, you can then follow with the next part of the script. Follow with passing out any handouts, such as educational booklets. You are to teach the workshops as though it were a Sunday school lesson that you were teaching at your church. Feel free to use any information provided in your CHA manual as a supplement to the information provided in the educational booklets. Refer to your own personal lecture notes as you progress through the presentation. While you are facilitating the discussion, be sure to observe the group's dynamics and intervene when necessary. Ensure that everyone is able to hear and see you, and silence side conversations when necessary. Monitor progress through the workshop. You can do this by keeping one eye on the clock and the workshop timeframes. Make sure you cover all key points in the booklets and slides. When it is time to move on, suggest that the group do so, asking them to write down their questions to be answered at the end of the workshop. If people want to keep talking on the current topic, use the parking lot technique. For example, you can say, "That is a great topic. Let's park it in the parking lot for now and come back to it at the end of the workshop." You can keep track of these comments and questions on sticky notes, index cards, or on a chalkboard or a whiteboard. At the close of the workshop, be sure to review the take-home points. You need to summarize what has been covered during the workshop. Ask, are there any questions, comments, or suggestions regarding what you just heard and read? Be sure to pause and give people time to think and respond. Then thank everyone for their participation. The workshop plan of action has a suggested script for how to ask and wait for questions from the audience. Identify any items not covered or issues raised during the discussion that can be addressed by the University of Maryland project team. Finish the workshop by thanking everyone for attending and collect all surveys and consent forms. Remind everyone about the next steps. For example, remind them about the next workshop or telephone calls. Pack up equipment and collect or dispose of any materials and restore the meeting room to its initial setup. Before leaving, make sure you remove any signage from doors or walls in the church. Lastly, thank the church official for the use of the room. Following the close of the workshop, if Project HEAL staff is present, debrief with them prior to leaving. Write down any and all questions you or the participants need clarification on. Make a note of participants who might need an additional minute talking personally with you or a member of the project team. When you're facilitating a discussion, you can expect several unplanned interruptions. Please think about how you would respond to scenarios such as the ones below. What will you do if you are halfway through the workshop and several late attendees arrive? How will you handle several side conversations that may be going on? What about if one of your attendees appears to be nodding off or sleeping? What if a child is disrupting the workshop? What would you do if a cell phone keeps going off? What if someone tells a story that is too personal or dominates the workshop discussion? The more prepared you are for different scenarios that may come up, the better you'll be able to handle them during your workshop. What if someone asks you a question you don't know the answer to? It is okay to not know the answer to a question. If a question is asked that you don't have the answer to, it would be best to make a note of the question and follow up with the University of Maryland Project HEAL staff later rather than making up an answer or guessing. Here is a list of materials needed for the workshop. Be sure to refer to the appendix of your CHA manual for a complete materials checklist. You will need pens and pencils, name tags, index cards or note cards, markers, your CHA manual, and the educational booklets for breast, prostate, and colorectal cancer. Be sure to include the facilitator speaking notes in your list of materials. You will also need working equipment such as a laptop and an LCD projector, screen, an extra extension cord, and a laser pointer. Also bring with you the PowerPoint presentation for the workshop you are leading. As a community health advisor, leading a workshop in which you are expected to incorporate scriptural and spiritual themes into teachings about a health topic, you may run into some challenges. These challenges may be reduced by following the do's and don'ts on the next few slides. Here are some don'ts. Don't stray from the material or go off on a tangent when explaining a concept. Don't turn your back to the audience. Don't use the workshop as an opportunity to preach. Don't leave any misconceptions unaddressed. This means addressing and correcting all myths that may be brought up during the workshop. Don't impose your personal beliefs on the participants. Lastly, don't discredit anyone's comments or beliefs. To improve the quality of your workshop, do create an open and inviting atmosphere and encourage participants to interact in the discussion. Do expand on the material in the slides. Do maintain control of the discussion at all times and maintain a positive demeanor at all times. In addition, address all questions and concerns at some point in the workshop. Respect each person's feelings and thoughts. Encourage participants to address any additional questions or comments with you or the project staff at a later time if needed. Here are some take-home points from this session. It is important that you are fully prepared before you lead your workshop. There are several steps to conducting a workshop that must be completed for a successful workshop. Preparing for different what-if scenarios will help you have a more successful workshop. And lastly, following the helpful hints, plan of action, and do's and don'ts will also help you when you conduct your workshops. Thank you.